is Sering Wangwadongpa, and I lived the first 25 years of my life as a Tibetan refugee in India and Nepal. So today, briefly, I want to sort of begin with talking about Hannah Arendt's essay, We Refugees, that was published in 1943 in a Jewish periodical. And this was after she managed to flee Hitler's regime and move to the US. And this is also 2 years after the legal definition of refugees, as we know it today, was established in the 1951 Refugee Convention that was a response to the displacement and deportations of World War I and then World War II. Arendt's essay is really, I think, powerful, but I want today to just focus on one aspect of it, where she writes, quote unquote, apparently nobody wants to know that contemporary history has created a new kind of human being, the kind that are put in concentration camps by their foes and in internment camps by their friends. And I think this is particularly haunting given that so many refugees and displaced people today are put in prisons and detention centers all over the world, for simply seeking asylum. There are at least 79.5 million people who have been forced to leave their homes, according to the UN Refugee Agency. And of this number, 26 million are refugees. I want to end with a short poem that is part of a longer series that I'm currently working on. So this is a work in progress. And so here it goes. I still refer to myself as a refugee, which is a misinterpretation because I am now a citizen of a place whose papers I carry to verify I am who I feel I am not. When I say I was a refugee, the audience conjures a narrative from which I emerge as a plucky winner who has proved their worthiness. Only then I am thought equal to a concept of human, because of their humanity. When I was a refugee, I thought it was my fault. I apologized for the lime stains on the backs of guests who leaned against the walls in our home. I blamed myself for my unpreparedness to pick a choice, something as simple as A and B on entry forms and exit forms. When I am a refugee, I work hard to prove I am exceptional to ordinary people. I fight desire, something as simple as having a team to root for. Thank you.
I think this anecdote of Tibetan children calling themselves refugees with an R on our forehead has become a legend in the Tibetan community in India. We've been told from childhood that we all bore an R on our forehead. And strangely, we used to believe that story. We all thought we all bore an R on our forehead, R meaning refugees. At the time when we were growing up, refugee did not mean anything derogatory or painful or sickly, how it is now being stereotyped around the world. For us, being refugees at the time was the greatest source of inspiration. I think calling ourselves refugees, identifying ourselves as refugees was the source of inspiration for us to have a great sense of purpose in life. A sense of purpose where your life is about a country, a freedom struggle. It's not just about your career, your money, or your wealth, or your position in society, but a great sense of purpose that your life, your education is for a country, for a freedom struggle. And that to a non-violent freedom struggle. And that has given a purpose to all of us.
지다 먼저 법학이 단연하노라 refugee 로도가라 젠주와다 잡주와스 니 표주당되기도 가라게 젠주와다 야가라 혹시 통고 뜻이 잡주로도가 뜻이 냠타고다오지 법학 먼저 냠타고다 인럽고로 이네 젠주에서도 걸라 zenjini tröne yongi jiga segoro ani kisi zende mewa chawa ina ya pa so lungbala loyagi loya yobaji koaji lenya de do nga zenjo wa de yagara ushtangudo 아니 ngaran zenjo nala salon chijogi shun 제가 salon chijogi shunje jindu gala 아니 zenjo기 초와지 카르도스나 소소 배바임베 두시 춤보다 열때 야 자가기 다 대전마세 야 높초기 검시다 사모당다 디스틱 텔라 슈진 탭딩이라 시대 대령도 걸라 릭네다 릭중다 미릭 망고지기 야 산삼나 용해라고 직갑광 철구도 갑갑 소소 깨지 쉐바이나 남주 벽에 시고 올 때야 갑갑 야 자가 담배 가우치에 주로시 갑갑이 인지시라 가우치 주로시 근데 직 슈진직 여바도티 모연의 츠르샤
Hi, my name is Pujungdi Sonam. On this World Refugee Day, I am going to read a poem from my book, Songs from a Distance. The title of the poem is She is in Boston. At Davis Square T station, between the exit door and the corner, from across the long wooden bench, she sits knitting woolen gloves, mittens, mufflers, and monkey hats that she displays on a string, and on the floor a rectangular sheet spread before her. She smiles at passers-by, almost sticking out her tongue, and then recoiling it back into her mouth. She can count up to 10 and say thank you and good in English. Her granddaughter is her teacher. On the floor she sits like a mountain, her hands managing the fight between the knitting needles. Wrinkles on her forehead are bow-shaped. The ones from her eyes fan out like rays of the sinking sun. Sometimes, suddenly she stops knitting, folded hands pressing her chest. Oh, Yishinubu, the precious one, driven by the karmic wind to the white man's land, I sit here on the floor, like I did 25 years elsewhere. May the wishes of Tenzin Gyatso come true. May I can go back to my home, so that I can die in peace. She was in Kathmandu, on the path around Buddhanath Stupa, selling tsamba, chura, and tea bricks, fighting with the dust and fumes. Then she was in Dharamsala, near the temple gate on a stool, peddling lapin, momo, and alukaza, counting smudged rupees every evening. Later she was in Delhi, on a footpath in Connaught Place, selling sweaters, jackets, and t-shirts, batting mosquitoes with her rosary. She is in Boston now, between the exit door and the bench, sitting 7 days a week, knitting woolen gloves, monkey hats, and mittens. I am not tired of these journeys, but the waiting is too long, she says.
Oh, number some attached delay. Tateran Jackie Chapter in Molani, Chana Chapter on Kadachi was at Sabare, Tana Chapter Charlie. Tachin Zambulano, Chapter Mother among the Shirasio Desire. Tatinani, Jim Dravi Totare, that should be around one. Touch the Keita, revision, some of the Yamjiko Bishop, Queen some of the Tatina Ganga go. They got on and the catches at the Uganda. Chapter of Mambuchi Yorella, Tim Mayandian, Jacob Sosu, the Chapster Katala Launch of Tenentan, Jean Zenentan, Ali, the Chapsula, the Kedo Yokian, Chapter Yongu Kateda Mambuchi Yore. Tanatu Popa in the Tiso, the Mada, Jacob Sosu, Chapter. Jana Kapola Tanda Chinida, Sosu Rayet, around so maternit, and Jala Chapter Yon, Mitadi Chabe. 다 야도에나요 그런 접주가 다 같이 숨지나고 계세요. 디노니 다나 하고에나 야급 소송이 접주가리 파생가도 보고 집에 말고 집에 말고도 텐디 참발라 다 마음과 나랑 두 야급 대 jaksu진이다. 야급 jaksu지라 탑수진이 소소랑이서 소토발라 내가 잡혀요라 처음이디가 선박진 집에
I only know. I don't know if I will ever see my homeland. I only know someone there misses me. I don't know how old my heart is. I only know my 5 o'clock shadow tells it all. I don't know how to write a constructive poem. I only know how to pour feeling into words. I don't know complicated philosophies. I only know salt is salty and sugar is sweet. I don't know what the future might hold for me. I only know I'm still breathing. I don't know how foolish I actually am. I only know sometimes I'm a bit stubborn. I don't know if fate exists or not. I only know hurting someone's feelings is wrong. I don't know whether failure is a part of life. I only know how to digest it and move on. I don't know how each second goes. I only know we will all become old. I don't know when Tibet will be free. I only know the birds in the sky fly free.
Jab Jurvi Namshi Jamba Suatam Mumber Lorgili Dengun to be Yitzardang Yamiji Chagdin in Chipi Rikam Tatung Mimi Satum Kum Jivari Sepagapu Gaupa Sita Changtung Chikatang Davi Hajamaru Lagoni Ni Gaupa Ji Chashi Boko Ni Mukchitang the Jam Ni Yachum Cookton Tumsong Ni Siwatang Simtum Lomba Ni Jangshum de Lisong Naru Samtanayo Ni Japturi Mungshum Kudi Dayo Onjang Gawa Upanu Tita Jing Jacksum Chunayo Gawa Upanu Dima Taxum Jeloni Wola Nevi Dinayo Gawa Upanu Shardung Johnson Jivana Chivshinyo Naru Santanayo Jang Ni Mumtu Gawa Wuji Lorji De Then being Wotang nearly Sodni Rangwang Tang Lorji Tatsu Shi Jimtin Chiguni Nia Donji Ganda Jiba Gawa Passation Young me, young the
So for my generation, there is no first-hand memory. Our memory is the one that we have inherited. So if we have anything from Tibet, it is the memory from our parents and grandparents. The life they lived and the memory of their homeland. And that has become our source of inspiration, our sense of belonging. We belong to this story.